Good evening, friends. Welcome to Delphic Dialogues. I am Bina Aziz, Director Visual Arts and Crafts of the Delphic Council of Maharashtra. I'm an artist, art curator, philanthropist, and an animal lover. And I love designing. Designing is also my passion. So I have designed this piece, which I call the Lion King, one of my jewelry pieces I have designed. So visual arts is the best form of expression. We as artists, when we express ourselves with our drawings, photography, and creations, reflects the world and time we live in. It helps us to understand our history and culture. For those who do not know what Delphic Games is about, it is the twin sister of the Olympic Games. What Olympics is to sports, Delphic Games is about our art and culture. It started in the Delphi city of Greece. World leaders like Nelson Mandela and Mikhail Gorbachev have supported it, and it is a great platform to showcase exceptional talent on a global scale. One such exceptional talent is here with us today, a visual artist, dynamic and charming, award-winning doodler, illustrator, and the first Indian artist to have sold his work at a record time of 37 seconds on the NFT platform. Yes, do welcome Santanu Hazarika. Congratulations, Santanu. Welcome to Delphic Dialogues. I love your energy, Santanu. I love your creativity and madness that I see in your works. And I'm learning a lot from you. And all those watching, I'm sure will do today. To quote you, at first I doodled for fun. It was my escape from reality. I was studying Hinduism and particularly Lord Vishnu. So there's a lot of detail in my drawing, contrary to what has been said. Doodling can't be mindless. To start a doodle, you have to have a certain thought, and it needs to be the basis of the story you tell through. From over 32,000 entries, that's amazing. You won the Red Bull Doodle Art Competition in Cape Town. So what drives you, Santanu?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be here and to be speaking about my journey as an artist. And I'm really excited for this. And I'll dive straight into it. So what drives me as an artist is the fact that I want to explore myself. So as an artist, self-exploration is something which drives me to create things. So creation is the process for me through which I discover myself and the surrounding that I'm in. So it's a self journey. It's a journey of discovery. It's a journey of struggle. It has a lot of amazement. It has a lot of fun, and it's basically how life is. But the thing is, once you're a visual artist, you have a different perspective towards it. Your journey becomes a more visual journey. It becomes you become more observant, and how you observe your surrounding and how you observe yourself. I think that curiosity drives me to create art and to create like drawings and illustration or whatever, or express myself. Yeah, I think that's what drives me.
Okay, so I believe I read that you used to keep doodling even while your teacher was teaching you in class. You would keep doodling and get just completely immersed in your art. So did you ever get punished, or did you ever teacher ever catch you doodling in class?
Yeah, all the time. So I'm like I can't hide stuff and I can't lie. Like I'm a very honest person, and and I say things and I do things as it is. Like this is what you see is what you get. So it's very difficult for me to like hide and sketch and draw without the people knowing around me. But the thing is, I was quite good at it because I used to sketch a lot. Even as a kid, I used to mimic comic book characters and I would just copy those. And so in college, when I went to college, I was doing something which I was really not passionate about and I was not good at it. I had a bunch of back papers to clear. I think it would have taken me 8 more years to complete my degree. So the teachers, they used to catch me, but the thing is, I I'm a friendly person. I would never disrupt the class. I will not disturb the professors or anyone around me. So they will let me slide. And if the drawing was really good, they would actually ask for it. So they'll be like, okay, you can sit and do whatever you want with your last bench, but before leaving, you give me the drawing, then you'll get your attendance. So most of my early works are with my professors. So yeah, that I never got into trouble for it, except for failing my exams and then having a hard time, like with my folks. But that's it.
Your teacher must have noticed your talent, I'm sure, in those days, because you have amazing talent out there. And I've seen your little notebook where you've doodled some really tiny pages in your notebook, and it's amazing. It's so intricate and in detail. My God, I'm fascinated by what you've done and what you do. And yes, you come across as a very honest person. So,
So that's
not even
like
anything.
that's yeah, and what happened is like my sketches were limited to my notebooks. So there was a very a limited canvas or a limited space I can work with. So I used to try to fit in as many details in the small constricted space. So that way I started exploring more and started like doing multiple combinations of patterns and small details and try to fit it in a small square or rectangle. So that way I started like that way my work developed into a much more detailed work rather than being something very how to put it, from minimal it went to a bit more detail and maximal. So that's how it developed during my college days.
Yeah, and you do it so fast. I mean, it's really fast.
Yeah.
You were also awarded by the Chief Minister of Assam for your contribution made in the field of art and culture. You were also invited as a guest speaker by the government of Russia on doodling and the subconscious mind, a talk on that. These are wonderful achievements at such a young age. Tell us about doodling. I mean, you've already said a bit about doodling, about the subconscious mind, if you can just tell our viewers.
So, like a lot of people think doodling is something which is very mindless, and doodling is something like just scribbles and random lines and all, but it's actually not. So, doodling lies somewhere between a scribble and a drawing. A drawing is much more controlled and focused. A scribble is completely mindless, where doodling is right in between those two extremes. So what happens in doodling, your mind is focused and preoccupied with something else. At the same time, your body is making movements and remarks while your mind is being focused on a different topic. And suppose, for example, right now we are having a conversation, and whoever's watching this conversation, consider this as a meeting. So suppose we're having this meeting and you're listening to us. At the same time, you're kind of making notes, but those notes are not exactly what we are saying. So those notes can be something else. It can be numbers, figures, any shapes or sizes. And you're drawing them on the piece of paper while you're listening to us and paying attention to what we're saying. So that is the very essence of doodling. Like it's somewhere between sleeping and daydreaming. So you're active, but you're not exactly active. It's a perpetual state of limbo, and your body is creating something, and it's a mental exercise. So doodling doesn't mean that it has to be a visual form. It has to be a sketch. It can be any movement that you make, which helps you think better and retain that particular scenario or moment better in your mind.
Okay, yeah, it's a coordination between the mind and the hand, or eye and hand coordination. That's so important, right? It's another form of exercise also, doodling.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me now, you are from Assam, right? You have come to Mumbai. Mumbai is known as the city of dreams. People from all parts of India have come here, from all walks of life, come here to become actors, painters, sculptors, musicians. It is home to World Heritage sites, museums, galleries. The film and music industry is here. It is a financial hub of India. At the same time, we have Asia's biggest slum. The maximum slum dwellers are in Mumbai. So we have the billionaires, the multi-rich, and the slum dwellers who are actually neighbors, right? It's a dichotomy. But this is what makes Mumbai so unique and an interesting space for all artists. There's enough room and opportunity for all. What do you think? You are from Assam. What brought you to Mumbai? And how has your journey been so far? And how are you happy with it, your decision of coming here?
Yes, I'm definitely happy with the decision that I've made. And see, the thing is, for an artist to grow or for any person to grow, you should break away from comfort. You should have a sense of struggle in yourself, and comfort is the biggest enemy of creation. So you need to put yourself in a situation which is not comforting, which is discomfort, and uh, you have to face a lot of things. And during that struggle, you realize a lot of things about yourself, and that is what growth is: overcoming situations, being in an uncomfortable situation, and fighting for your art, fighting towards a goal. I think that is something which has been very beneficial to me as an artist, and for the entire migration that I've done from Assam, then Delhi to Bombay. So putting myself in situations where I have to start from scratch, there is no security, there is no sense of comfort. You have to struggle, and you have to uh, build the network. You have to build your life again and all over again, and you experience sort of different things. So those experiences, they contribute towards new creations. You cannot sit in a comfortable situation and be there in your entire life and then try to create something. You will always end up being stuck in a loop. So I think for me, the migration helped me realize that. And the moment I move in, the city is filled with different people, different
Right,
cultures,
right.
and there's so many opportunities. So I think I these are all the reasons for which I had shifted here, uh, looking for opportunities and seeking to push myself and put myself in a state of discomfort so that my art grows again.
Yeah, that's so important, I guess, that drive to just make something out of your art. And did you get enough support? The people are very friendly in Mumbai, I think. They are very helpful. What do you think? Well, how was your experience over here?
It has been good. I have thankfully I've met people who are amazing, really supportive, and they're genuinely talented people. Like most of the people that I know here are doing something or the other,
Okay.
and whatever they're doing, they're good at it. They're passionate and they're creators. They're creating something, and this is what really inspires me. And this is what I really like about the city is the people. They're in constant motion. They're in
Right,
constant
right.
motion of creation, working, uh, activities. So that is something that's very important. The life has to be vivid for you to experience and to create. So I think this is what the lifestyle in Bombay is like, and I really like it here.
Yeah, there's so much energy there. Everybody's always on the move. It's there's so much talent out here. It's amazing.
Yes,
Inspiring, I think that's right. So
yes.
taking up fine arts as a profession was a big no in those in the 90s and early years. But today, except for of course architecture, interior designing, music, painting, sculpture, photography, was never considered to be a lucrative profession. It was okay as a hobby, I think, because even my father was, felt that way. So did your parents, did they accept you focusing on your arts mainly, or did they want you to now take up another profession basically?
Yeah, of course. I was doing engineering, so
Ah,
uh,
right.
like uh, the thing is, it's the lack of awareness. It's I don't blame anyone for this. It's just as a society, as a third world country, as a developing nation, how we were back then. There was very less awareness about the field of art and design, especially where I come from. Art is
Yeah,
still considered to be a summertime thing or a summer school thing where you send your kids. They learn how to paint landscapes or maybe a cow or two hills with the sun rising.
yeah,
That's it. The concept of art is very much limited to that, uh, like for all the parents. So similarly, my parents were the same people. Like they never knew that art is a lucrative profession that you can actually like make a living out of uh, making art. And it's not only that, even in other part of the countries, like there's a general notion, it's a stereotype that if you're an
yeah,
artist, you have your jhola bag, you have your torn pants, you have a kurta and your scruffy hair, and
Yeah,
you don't make money. You smoke your BDs and you just like that.
that's
So,
true.
but which yeah, it still exists, and
Yeah,
it's a very wrong stereotype, and
yeah,
that's why I have always tried to break the stereotype. Like I've always tried to set an example of how a lifestyle of an artist can be. Like, why can't you take the lifestyle of an artist as an inspiration? Like, you can also make it uh, vivid, fulfilling, satisfying, and glamorous at the same time. Like how the other Western countries are. Like, artists are honored, they are glorified. But in India, unfortunately or fortunately, it's the sportsmen or the movie stars or musicians or rock stars. So my take on thing is, why can't visual artists be considered as same as them? Because they're also creating art. Like, we are no different from any other artists. So I think that's the notion which needs to be taken care of, which needs to, the stereotype needs to be broken, and you need to set an example. Like, for me, I didn't have anyone to give my parents an example of. Like, I don't know, I didn't have anyone for my neighborhood. I didn't have anyone for my city, which I can use or whom I can use as an example to tell my folks, see, this guy has done this much. He has gone to so many places. He is earning money. He's having a nice life. There was no one to give my folks an example. So, which was very difficult for me to prove them wrong at one point. See, they are doing good. I also want to go there. And there were no mentors.
right.
So it was a bit difficult, but then I had to struggle with this. And I made it a point that I will break the stereotype and I will be that example which the younger generations can give to their parents whenever this question comes up.
Yeah, that's important. I'm so glad. Yeah. But I think this is also the case with the musicians. They think musician wears his kurta, pajama, panchoing. So I don't
No,
know
it's
why.
actually, it has changed now. It has changed a little bit now with the whole music thing coming up and all, and then, like, and sports also. Now people are actually. I'm really hopeful with the present generation of the like young parents who are there. They're very much into co-curricular. They support their kids if they see a little bit of talent in them or they see interest in any other extracurricular activities, which is really nice, which is really good. So thankfully, my parents were like supportive. Not initially they weren't, because I was really good in studies. So they expected me to take a end up being an IS officer or something like that, or maybe an
Yeah,
engineer. So
right,
my
right.
plan was engineering and then move to IS and IFS or something like that, become an officer. Like,
Yeah. Most parents expect that, right?
yeah,
But,
yeah.
but
Because
look at
I
how our
was
Indian,
really good.
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, but because I was really good in my studies. I was a studious kid. I did well in my exams and all. I scored high scores and all. So they were like, "Huh, you should do that." So they were thinking that I'm throwing away my life by taking up art, by throwing away my education and all. I'm like, no. I think if I'm smart enough to do well in my exams, I'll be smart enough to navigate through whatever thing that I take up as a profession.
Right. So they're happy, must be happy today, I'm sure, because you've
Yeah.
so much. Yeah. So, and today, look at our Indian artists. They're doing so well at auction houses. I mean, they're selling millions. Look at Tayyab Mehta, Gaiton, the MF Hussain, Anish Kapoor, Raza, Tayyab Skali sold for a record 26.4 crores, and a VS Gaitonde for 39.98 crores by Saffron Art. So now it's considered a lucrative and respectable profession. This is encouraging for many out there who want to pursue art as a career, I think, today. But today is a digital age. Now we have the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and NFT is a new platform where the young lot like you are using. This is doing extremely well, and I think there's a lot more room for creativity. In fact, since you were the first artist, Indian artist, to sell within 37 seconds, that was a record. Wow, congratulations. So can you throw some light on this? How does NFT work? And I'm still learning about that. I'm sure a lot of others also are learning.
So, I'm going to explain in a very basic term. I'm not going to go into like a lot of technical terms. So, to put it in a very basic way, let's consider a parallel world, which is the digital world. We have the physical world and we have a digital world. All
Right.
right. So, in physical world, we have artists like us. We have creators, artists. Then we have galleries, and then we have collectors or buyers. Similarly, and then we have currencies like dollars, rupees, and all.
Right.
Similarly, in the digital realm, there are artists or digital artists like again me, and
Right.
then we have platforms which can be considered as galleries, different websites or platforms where they sell those NFTs, just like galleries. And then you have collectors and buyers who are actually buying those art pieces from these platforms. And the mode of transaction is through a digital currency
Okay.
like Bitcoin, Ethereum, then WRX coins. There's lots of digital coins and currencies. So that's the very difference. That's the very parallel that you can get from both of the scenarios. So what happens with NFTs? NFTs are the full form of NFT is a non-fungible token. So just like how an art piece is one of one, like for example, if I paint this painting, it's one unique painting. I cannot exchange this painting with a same painting because there is only one piece. But whereas you can exchange one 10 rupee note with another 10 rupee note because they are fungible.
Right.
Whereas NFTs are non-fungible. You cannot exchange one artwork with the like because there's no second artwork exactly like that.
Right. Right.
So what happens is so to get that uniqueness, you need to be on the blockchain. There's a process of authentication. There's a process through which you get your artwork minted. The process is called minting, minted into the blockchain. So
Okay.
moment you mint it in the blockchain, your artwork is given a token number, a unique token number. So
Okay.
your artwork is basically an image which represents that token number. And then whenever you are selling something, whenever selling your NFT, you're selling your unique token number, which is
Okay.
associated with that image.
Okay.
So, and that token number cannot be copied. It's authenticated on the blockchain. You cannot like copy it or you can exchange it with other different token numbers, but not with the same because it's a unique number. So
Right.
that's how NFTs work. And then you have to buy or collect it through a digital currency.
Okay. So, which is actually, in a way, it's at an advantage because today there are so many fakes going around, which is
Yes.
so sad. After the artist passes away, there's no one to authenticate except for the family, of course, which I'm sure they must be tired by now. So this way, you can't. No one else can produce a fake of an
No.
art. This only
No.
belongs to you, and
Yes.
and the ownership. You know about it, right? It's like a trail of ownership,
Yes.
which you know as
Yes.
an
So
artist, right?
yes. So whenever you're on the blockchain, whenever you've minted your artworks or
Yeah.
your NFTs on the blockchain, the token number, you can follow the transition. Like you can follow the trail. Who's buying, who's owning it. Suppose I sold my artwork on this platform for this many Ethereum or this many uh, crypto. And
Right.
then what happens? You see who's it's owned by. You can see the ownership, who owns that piece, and again you can see from that person where it goes to
Who's
the
buying it?
if
Okay.
he or she is selling it to another person, you can see who's owning it then. And
Right.
every time your artwork changes hands, you get a royalty fees. So you can set a royalty
And you
amount
get royalty,
every
which is
time.
another advantage. Yeah, that's good.
Yes. So every time you make a sale, if every time someone else makes a sale of your artwork, you get a royalty. So you're not losing out
Oh,
because this
that's
happens with most of the galleries. They buy bulk amount of artworks from artists at a very lower rate, and then they appraise the value, and then they sell it off and leaving out the artists. Like they don't get to make the profit.
right, right. That's what's happening with the physical art because once it's sold, it's sold. So that person sells to an auction house and the artist is a loser basically. So,
Yes.
so this is at an advantage, I think, selling it this way because you know the owner and you're getting royalty on it, But the only thing is you don't have the physical artwork. Can you take out prints of what you own? Suppose I buy a work. Can I take out
Huh.
prints or something about on it?
Yes, definitely. You can go take
Yeah.
out the prints. You can buy. You can take out prints, like, depending on this file that the artwork or the file that has been shared with you. But the thing is, it's like a ownership proof. more than the printout, like right before the situation was like you have a Picasso, or if, for example, you have a Picasso, you have it on your wall, and
Yeah.
then when people come over, they see and they're like, oh wow, you own a Picasso. But
Right. Right.
now everything is digital. Like whatever you see on your social media is who you are. Like your Instagram is a reflection of who you are. You bought a new thing, you put it up on Instagram. You go to eat somewhere, put it up on Instagram, and that way a lot of people can see it. So similarly, NFTs are exactly that. So you have that digital ownership, so people can see, oh, this is owned by this guy. He has bought it for this many Ethereum or this thousands and thousands of dollars. So
Right.
basically, the people, you can show your collection straight up on a digital realm to a larger audience,
Yeah. You
and they
can
would
reach
know
it
it.
much more. Right. Yeah. It's true.
Yes. So they can know who's buying what, who owns what, and where, and what's the value also at the same time.
And nobody can like tomorrow a third person just puts up an image on social media, it's going to be blocked, right? Because it's like
Uh,
you're not the owner, you cannot put up an image which you don't own. So that's
no,
another advantage, no?
yeah. So the moment if someone is not owning that particular NFT, they put up their stuff, they can't prove it. Like it's simple. Suppose I buy a fake Picasso, put it up, and people like, oh, you have a fake Picasso, and then there's no way of authenticating it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I have a fake Picasso, I'm telling you I have an original one. But here, if you put it up on your social media, if you put it up
Yeah.
there, people
Yeah.
can go and check out that art piece, who owns it. You can
Right.
go and
Right.
check on the blockchain who's the owner.
Yeah.
You have really bought it or not.
Right. So that's advantage there between, that's the difference I think between NFTs and
Yes.
so this platform, I would say, is basically for the very extremely creative artists, because it can imagination just can, you can just let go of your imagination and do whatever you want. It's your freedom to, digital art allows you that creative mind, the complete freedom to do what you like, right? Your imagination over there. So that's, it also cuts out the middleman, like you said, I think in physical, right?
Yes. So there's also a lot of gatekeepers when it comes to galleries. Like there's so the NFT platforms rules out this whole gate concept of gatekeeping, and like, okay, you cannot put up your artwork, you cannot display here. So there's like everyone is at a similar pedestal. Everyone is at the similar platform. Your artwork can be right beside of a senior artist or a
Right.
very acclaimed artist. So you get this, you get the viewership, you get the same exposure as any other artist would, or an experienced artist would, or a master would.
Right, right. So I'd like to tell my viewers out there, go get a Santanu work, because this man is going places. This boy is going places for sure. And as an artist, I still paint the traditional way. I'm still learning from you, Santanu. I think learning is a process. Art is a process in learning. In art, we never stop learning. We just evolve as artists.
Yes.
So you have also collaborated with several brands, Adidas, Reebok, the Tarot Project in Washington, a clothing brand. And you have also designed the IPL cricket team Rajasthan Royals bus, which is so interesting. I've seen the image, and those who want to see it, you can go onto his Instagram account, his handle. So how do these collabs work, Santanu? Can you just throw some light on this?
So I first started working with Red Bull International when I won the Red Bull World Championship. That was my first ever proper contract with an international corporation. And we made a signature limited edition Doodle Art t-shirt, which was just sold across the world. So from that, I started working, designing more stuff. I made a social media presence. I try to stay relevant by incorporating pop culture and relevant topics in most of my artworks. So that way, I'm building my brand, like brand of Shantanu, as a collaborator, as a designer. And because of that reason, like a lot of brands approach me like by themselves. Like I'm approached by, recently I did one project for OnePlus. Then I did a mural project for the biggest Adidas store in India, in Delhi. I recently finished that, and then
in Delhi, right?
In Delhi, CP. So if you guys, anyone from Delhi, if you're there, go check out the CP Adidas Halo store. Go check out the murals there. It's done by this guy over here.
Lovely, lovely. I love to see.
So, so brands usually approach me because I have made a signature style of work. I have made my brand stand out, and I'm like the go-to guy for most of the brands. Like if they want to customize a sneaker, if they want to make murals, so anything under the scope of visual art, I can handle. I can design. So I've never I've never separated these two worlds. I've never separated the world of art and design. I've always seen how both of them are interflowing and interlinked in a very beautiful and a very submersive way. So what happens is like most of my artworks are designed, and most of my designs have my like sense of art in it. So that way, I am able to uh, leave my essence, and that way I'm able to uh, how to say express the essence of what my art is, what I am, collaborating with brands. So they want me to work with them to make their product become more of my art style, and
Right.
that's how most of the collaborations work.
Okay. And you also collaborated with a lot of musicians. I think more rappers, right? What is the genre of
Yes.
artists what is the like music that you really like or relate
So
to?
I listen to all sorts of music. I listen to like there's no particular. I don't confine myself. So okay, I like only listen to rock. I only like listen to this music. No, I listen to all sorts of music. Like it has to, but it has to be good music. Like
Right.
good music is good music. That's it. That's the only criteria for me. But I started off with metal, rap, hip hop. So like back from where I'm from, like Guwahati or Assam, metal is huge. Metal music is what we all listen to, and every
Right.
other block has a metal band or a rock band. So I grew up surrounded by rock music and metal music, and I started. But I can't play any of the instruments, and neither can I sing. So only way for me to be part of the band was to make their artworks. So I would get into concerts and all by saying, "Oh, I'm with the band," but it's just
Okay.
that I just make the artwork.
That's interesting. That's
and
nice.
so
Yeah.
and so as I grew up, that thing stuck with me. Like I really love working with musicians, and music is a form of art which I can never create. And that very thing that I can't create inspires me to work more with musicians and to understand it more. And it's my way of contributing to the inspiration, like my inspiration, all the people who inspire me, all the musicians.
True. It has, and you have to have that synergy, I think, to collaborate with an artist. That synergy has to be there, no? Right? Isn't that right? I think, and music and art have a very close relationship. I also listen to certain kinds of music when I paint. It gives you that energy, and it just keeps your mind, whatever you're imagining, comes out better. I think with music, it inspires definitely. So tell me, you came down during this period, the pandemic lockdown happened. Did you come down at that time? How was it your trip journey at that time when you came down from Assam to Bombay? Did it make a difference to you? Did it hinder anything you were trying to do?
Yes, yes, definitely. COVID, the whole pandemic, the first wave was really bad. I just moved from Guwahati to Bombay. And I just moved from Delhi to Bombay. And I took up an apartment. I was setting up my studio space, and then boom, suddenly everything shuts down. It's chaos everywhere. Nobody knows
Yeah,
what's going on. So I had to pack up everything. Not everything. I just had to pack my bag and bounce back to Guwahati. And I left all my stuff here, and I just couldn't come back because there were no flights, there was nothing happening, and keeping paying rent for that apartment for no reason didn't make sense. So
right.
my entire year, like I had many projects lined up. I had few
Mhm.
big projects lined up during that time, and everything got cancelled. It was a very bad phase. There was no work happening. I went into sort of a depression for a few months because like I needed to make art and I was stuck, and there were so many projects that I was working on. Everything just uh, and dismantled.
Backseat
There
to
was
the
nothing. Yes, so I was kind of frustrated because I was like, okay, now what to do? Like I have to start from scratch again because you know that like this whole life of an artist is it's filled with struggles and it's filled with uncertainty.
Right.
So, and COVID was the most uncertain, the most random, and the most harming thing that has happened to many of us.
Right.
And
Right.
but then eventually I tried to make the most out of the situation. I went all digital. I started doing workshops. I started doing more live sessions. I started hitting up all the other uh, brands and local brands and friends, and I started telling them, okay, let's do something online. Let's go live. Let's talk about art. Then also have this collective called Guwahati Art Project. Me and few other
Okay.
artists from Guwahati, we're part of this collective called Guwahati Art Project, through
Okay.
which we are trying to build a dialogue in the entire Northeast region. And
Okay.
so we had a third Guwahati Art Project talks. We call them Gap Talks. And it was a complete digital version that we did. And we invited artists and designers from all over the world for the session. It
Wow.
was a three-day event, 3 day workshop thing. We had architects, designers, muralists,
Wow.
and researchers, and amazing people doing amazing work throughout the world. Bioengineers,
Yeah.
studio houses, everyone. So that was one of the good things that we got out of the lockdown and pandemic.
Okay. In Mumbai is a city that never sleeps. If you, whatever time of the night, whether it's day or night, it's always buzzing. Mumbai is always buzzing with um, so much people on the streets. There's always so much happening constantly. And Assam is a little probably more laid back in that way, right?
Yes, it is.
You enjoy the buzz that Mumbai creates. You don't
Yes,
enjoy the energy.
definitely. Yeah, it definitely keeps me on my toes, like and it
Keeps
keeps
all
me
of us on our
active.
toes, I think, trying
True,
to cope with
very
the
true.
others.
Yes, very true.
So that's great. Now, tell us what message can you give to all our viewers out there, those who are still struggling? I think a lot of artists have gone through a very difficult period at this time, but some, of course, it's been a boon because some artists prefer the peace and the quiet, and they like to work in their own space. But a lot of artists, it's their way of living, it's their life, and they have been affected. So what message can you give to people out there who want to become artists and who want uh, things to, so you can inspire them to with their dreams, so their dreams can really come true, like you have, what is the message you'd like to give them?
So I think like the only message that I can give is that the things that have worked for me, like I'm telling this out of my personal experience, the only way to make a mark is to work hard. That's it. There are no shortcuts of becoming a great artist or a popular artist. You have to build it up. You have to really put in the effort. You can't be a one hit wonder with art. You need to grow. Your art needs to grow. You need to put in the effort. You need to explore yourself. You need to explore your mind. You need to explore your surrounding. And yeah, that's the only advice and that's the most important advice I think I would like to share with all of you guys. Like, keep at it. You need to be prolific with your art form. You need to be constantly experimenting and working hard.
Yeah,
And that's it. It might happen in 2 years. It might happen in 20 years. You don't know, but you need to
just
be
keep
at it
working, right?
constantly. Yes, constantly. It's a constant motion. You need to be in motion. There's no other way to go about it.
That's true. It's all hard work, and I think keep experimenting, trying. You'll discover
Yes.
something new. You keep discovering more about yourself. In fact, every time I paint a canvas, I keep discovering something different, which is so interesting. So use different mediums, use your fingers, use whatever. If you don't have a brush, use your fingers, use any material that you have, and see the effects it creates, right? It's all
Yes.
about
It's
how
all
you,
about
how you work.
reinventing
Yeah.
yourself. It's all about how you reinvent yourself. It's all
In
about
fact,
how you stay
I remember
relevant.
an incident when I had my solo show at the Jahangir. MF Hussain Sahab had come for my show, and the first thing I said, "What advice can you give me?" And he says, I can't give you any advice on art. Art has to be inborn. You just have to experience it yourself. So that's from the master himself. So that's a wonderful
True.
um,
Exactly.
message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your journey. You need to
It's a
make that
journey.
journey.
You have to,
Yeah,
yeah.
you will only know yourself better than anyone else. So you know
Right.
how much work you have to put in.
So tell me, how can Delphic, the Delphic arts help, Santanu's art help with the Delphic objectives in India?
I think,
Questions?
like I said, there should be awareness. There should be awareness about how art and culture is an important part of a civilization, especially in a country like India. And I've always believed art is the summary of mankind or a civilization. And I think in order to promote this more, we need to build a strong community, which is Delphi Group is doing already. And I think we should expand this community. We should make it stronger, and we should be inclusive of collectors, artists, and people who appreciate art. And we build a strong community with strong foundation through which we connect to more people and more networks of people and may expand. I think that's what I think would be good, and that's what Delphic and or we as an artist should be doing.
True. On that note, thank you so much, Santanu, for your time. It's been so
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
listening to you and your journey and your thoughts. I hope the artists out there have got all the answers that they need regarding so many questions I'm sure they have. So thank you.
Thank you so
And we
much.
are working on something in January, so watch out for that.
Yes.
Something very special is
Yes.
going to come up soon with Santanu.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good evening. Thank you so much for having me here.
Pleasure. It's been a pleasure.